Welcome, Scorpio, to your love reading for September of 2018. So let's look into what's going on with you. Now, I'm going to do a spread where this is a little bit different from what I've been doing. I'm just an extended version of it. So let's see. Energy for Scorpio in love for September 2018. So person should come towards you. Your response. Well, person energy, your response, their response, your response, advice, outcome for Scorpio. Okay. So the overall energy between both of you, a breakup. This is an extended version of, I feel, throughout the weekend. I believe it was August the 31st to September 2nd. That energy of you breaking up with somebody. I feel like this might even start the month off, but linger throughout the month for a lot of you. So this is where you just don't agree on something emotionally, where someone is being just outright petty about certain things, or just immature, or there's just something that's not working out. And sometimes this is where love is not at its strongest or at its peak for some of you, or sometimes it's reached its peak and now things are falling apart if you're breaking up with the next partner or someone that you know is just the end. So the person that's coming towards you is very controlling and maybe very manipulative too, and I feel like that's part of what is really putting a sour or damper with the connection and putting a bad taste in your mouth. So it means that you might not even want to talk to that person. You might not even want to communicate with them because of what they are doing, even if you know that there's love there. If you feel some kind of way about them, I feel like they say certain things to you, they say certain things to other people to make things seem like it's all your fault or that things are not working out, whatever it might be. I feel like that's a very heavy energy out there for a lot of you. So it could also be where you deal with somebody who you have some financial ties with, and that particular person could be doing whatever they do to keep things stale between you. So there is a breakup or a marriage or something like that that's going on with somebody. So I feel like there are definitely control issues with that particular person. So it's unhealthy. So be careful about that. Purposely ignoring or not communicating, things like that. What is your response? You feel how you feel about that particular person. You might even be tired of going through this or expressing how you feel about it, and if they make you feel guilty about you feel in a certain way, or whatever they might be doing, I feel like a lot of you are stepping away from the confrontation. You're getting away from it. You're not going through the battle because you know how that person is, you know how they might respond. So it's like, why even bother with it? Let them learn through their own experience. Let them learn through karmic justice of how these things happen. I will assure you that these things happen one way or the other, of some kind of karmic thing that happens, or the universe can let them know. It's not a punishment, but it's a reflection of how you are purposely. I see everybody's connected spiritually, literally one energy experiencing itself in different ways, in different forms. It's like God, universe is everything and everybody. I was shown that through an experience that I had many times. But I feel when someone is being manipulative or doing certain things, now this could be, I'm not going to say that this is just them, it could be your energy, but I feel, for instance, if you are getting a reading, or if you're coming to someone, you're coming for the healing because you're dealing with somebody who is kind of giving off this energy. So I base it on that sometimes. So I feel like even if you feel that way deep down about somebody, you're removing yourself from the situation and not causing any friction or drama. So what is their response? They might be very frustrated, and I feel like even if they owe you money, or they owe you I can't say owe you love, but if they owe you some kind of, if you want to reciprocate, if they need to show up because you've shown up, I feel like that's part of what's happening. But they might still hold back. They might still be selfish at times. They might still feel like they want to control, that you do owe them something, when it could be the other way around. But they might have some financial issues or concerns. So I feel like they constantly place themselves in debt. Maybe they feel like you should be the only one who's taking care, or holding the fort down in some way. So that could be part of the emotional manipulation or psychological manipulation that you need to be mindful of and stay away from. So they might have some things that they need to change, and I feel like that could be part of them putting themselves in debt and having bad credit and different things like that. So keep that in mind. What is your response? So you may even hold back And sometimes you could also still be very attached to an unhealthy person or situation that you deal with, and I feel like that's part of you. Might even be, you know, you holding on to your own money. You're trying to save, you're trying to hold back and reserve your own energy, again getting away from confrontation and maybe staying away from a particular person. Now that could be in a negative sense, because you could hoard emotions, you could hoard different things that are not quite healthy for you, depending on what that might be. And I feel like you have to be sure that you take care of your health, your body, your emotions, and your spiritual self as well. So just be mindful about that advice. Focus on the future. In a different perspective, I see financial cards showing out here. So that means if that other person is having issues with coming to the realization of what they aren't doing, you know, either emotionally or financially, I feel like you need to lead by example and continue to do what you do. And it doesn't mean that you have to provide for them or just give them money or kind of back them up when they run into or put themselves in a hole. I feel like sometimes you may need to learn to say no, and then allow them to see what you're doing in a different way. And even if you have been doing these things, I feel like now is the time to make these changes so you can push forward and then have something to lean on or something to point at and say, look, this is what I've been doing, and see how things might go from there. So try to postpone any if you feel a lot of pent-up emotions, challenge them in a different way. You don't need to lash out right now because they need to learn, because you'll give them something to feed off of, and you don't want to do that. This is not the time to do that right now. Sometimes it can be you go tit for tat right now. No, they need to learn some things. I feel that's what's going on. And the outcome, you're not really communicating with them, or vice versa. Again, that was already set in stone from them from the get-go, where even if they do communicate, they might not really say certain things to you that you want to hear. Not that they should. I mean, certain things that they say might not be the truth. Certain things that they say could be really bringing up a lot of triggers that can ignite a lot of anger or resentment within you. So I feel like both of you might even shut one another down, or even block one another, or shut one another away. So I feel like that might definitely be an issue. So just be careful with that. So I'm going to clarify one card for clarify the King of Swords in reverse for Scorpio. Yeah, that particular person is I feel like they're going through a lot of tension. Anytime I see strength, that means that they have gone through something extreme. I'm talking about stressful, where sometimes they might even felt like they wanted to commit suicide, take their own life, because they can't stop doing certain things. They can't stop thinking about you. They can't. But on the other end, they don't want to let you go, but they give you reasons to break up. They give you reasons to put an end to certain things, and I feel like they're trying to do their best to change their mind, their state of being, and their emotional sensitivity as well. So just keep that in mind. I feel so there definitely might be some issues because of financial concerns in the way that another person is behaving. So let's see messages for Scorpio for September 2018. We have make the effort. It says great love is worth taking the steps that you got it to take. It doesn't mean that you aren't. Some of you might need to communicate how you feel and not hold back so much. You might take a chance to open up and express yourself, and that means like letting someone know how you feel. It doesn't mean get into confrontation. And this is also energy. It doesn't always mean emotional reaching out. It can mean focusing on other areas of your life, which is part of giving an effort to a relationship, where you focus on other things that need to be taken care of. All right. And messages for Scorpio for September 2018. You have worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life, and I feel if this is going to work, if things are going to fall through, what you feel won't fall on deaf ears. Communication will start to clear up eventually when the time is right. You're not going to have to force things. So I feel like these things will happen when at the right time, you know, in the right way, at the right moment. So just keep that in mind. All right, I send you a lot of love, tons of healing vibes as well, and lots of light. And you can always go to the website psychicloveheals.com to schedule something for your energy, as these are general. And have a good one. Okay, enjoy.